all the viewers. Today's session of tourism and hospitality research, we will be discussing about an important concept in research, that is designing a survey questionnaire. What is a survey questionnaire? How do we design an effective survey questionnaire? What is the process to be followed? What are the important points to be kept in mind while designing a survey questionnaire? All of these are different questions which come in a researcher's mind while framing the research design. So today I'm going to uncover all these aspects for you. So let us start. The process of developing a survey questionnaire requires multiple critical steps, such as specifying the research aims, selecting suitable question styles, and constructing clear and brief questions to make sure the survey successfully collects the needed information. It is imperative to contemplate all aspects such as question formulation, sequencing, and length of the questionnaire to optimize the respondent engagement and mitigate the bias. So what is a survey questionnaire? A questionnaire is a research tool used to collect data from respondents through surveys. It consists of a series of questions. The first research questionnaire was created by Statistical Society of London in 1838. Now we are going to discuss about 9 steps of designing a survey questionnaire. The first step being define your research objectives. What precise information is essential for your collection? What insights do you aspire to garner from your survey? Second is identify your target audience. Comprehending the characteristics of your respondent is of paramount importance. What are their demographic profiles, level of language proficiency, academic qualification, the availability of time with them? That is also quite important. The third one is choosing an appropriate question type. So, in case you are opting for an open-ended question, open-ended generally means you are asking a question and then seeking the response in the words of the respondent, not giving predefined responses to be ticked on, to be marked on to the respondent. Close-ended question means that you are not giving an option to the respondent to provide his or her own views in a comprehensive manner, rather than you are giving him or her dichotomous response like yes or no, or a scaled response on a Likert 5-point scale or a Likert 7-point scale, which is often utilized in survey based research. In this type of scale, 1 stands for strongly disagree and 5 stands for strongly agree, in case we are going in for 5-point Likert scale. But they should align optimally with your research objectives. The fourth step is craft clear and concise questions. Avoid jargons, double negatives, and leading inquiries. Ensure that each question is comprehensible and requires only a single piece of information. For an instance, if you ask the respondent a question like, "Don't you unlike fast food?" it is known as a double negative question. So think of answering this question. If you have given the respondent the option of taking yes or no for this question, what would the respondent choose? Because the question is quite confusing. You could have simply asked him, "Do you like fast food?" and given him the option of taking yes or no, rather than asking him this kind of a double negative question. The fifth point is structure your questions logically. They should be in a sequence. They should be logical. Commence with simpler questions to establish rapport and progressively introduce more intricate topics. Think carefully about the sequence of questions to prevent respondent fatigue and bias. It is quite important because if the respondent feels tired reading your questions, monotonous questions, similar questions again and again, so it will lead to boredom. And when the respondent will feel bored, he will stop filling in your responses and your respondent and your questionnaire will go waste. You cannot call it a valid response until it is completed by the respondent. So you will not be eventually considering that survey form for your data analysis. You will have to exclude it from your data analysis. So it's better that you structure your questions logically. The sixth step is consider the length of the questionnaire. Maintain brevity, that is shortness and quickness, so that you ensure that essential data which is required by you as per your framed objectives is got from the respondents, as well as their interest is quite maintained throughout the answering of the questionnaire. They should not lose their interest, and an average survey questionnaire, a good survey questionnaire should take about maximum of 8 to 10 minutes, not more than that, because in today's fast-paced life, no one has so much of time to give you the responses if it is more than 10 minutes. The seventh important point is always pilot test your questionnaire. Prior to the dissemination to your target demographic, conduct a test with a small group to identify potential issues related to wording or clarity. How to do a pilot study, a trial study before going on to the actual study. We will be discussing it in coming videos. Ensure confidentiality and anonymity. Safeguard the data of respondents and inform them regarding the utilization of their information. It is quite important that you take informed consent of the respondent. You inform them why you are taking this information from them and how you will reutilize this information. Collect and analyze your data subsequent to the distribution of the survey. Finally, you will engage in data analysis. After scrutinizing the survey question forms for their completeness and seeing that they are valid for your data analysis, because you have to derive meaningful conclusion which will inform your research. Here are some tips for writing good survey questions. First being, ask about the right things. Concentrate on inquiries that directly pertain to your research objectives while avoiding irrelevant questions. They will not help you out in any way. Use neutral and clear language. Refrain from employing biased or ambiguous language that may unduly influence the responses of the participants. Avoid double-barreled question. Each question should concentrate on a single specific response or a single topic. Use balanced scales. Ensure that your scales contain an equal number of positive and negative alternatives. As I gave you an example of a Likert 5-point scale, where 1 stands for strongly disagree, 2 for disagree, 3 for neutral, 4 for agree, and 5 for strongly agree. Present these options which are both all inclusive and mutually exclusive from each other. Try not to seek personal or sensitive information. Respect respondents' time. Strive to keep the questionnaire as concise and as efficient as possible. So here is an example of different kind of survey questions which you can put in your survey questionnaire form. The first being open-ended. So an open-ended question could be framed like this: what is your opinion regarding the stay experience at this hotel? A close-ended question would be: do you concur or dissent with the following statement? You had a pleasant stay experience at this hotel? If you are giving a dichotomous response option, you can give yes or no, where the respondent will be marking on either of the two options. If you are giving a scaled response for this on a scale of 1 to 5, you can give him or her 5 numbers with a tick box against each number and clearly define what does these numbers signify. 1 signifies strongly disagree, 2 for disagree, 3 for neutral, 4 for agree, 5 denotes strongly agree. And finally, I've given you some online platforms for designing your survey in a very effective manner and also distributing it, sharing it amongst your samples so that you get them effectively and you gather them and start analyzing them. These are SurveyMonkey, JotForm, Zoho Survey, Google Forms, Survey Sparrow, Qualtrics, Question Pro, Typeform. In all of them, there are various features which you can utilize to build an effective, attractive, and a meaningful survey questionnaire for your study. I hope this session was quite useful for you and you will share it with your faculty colleagues. Do keep watching for more exciting and knowledgeable content soon. Thanks a lot.